Hello, and welcome to Unit Circle Radians, where we are going to learn about the radians of the unit circle, where they come from, tricks to memorize, and things like that. So let's get started. We're actually going to start with the formula for the circumference of a circle. Now, for those of us who don't remember, the circumference of a circle, I'm going to write, actually I think I'm going to move this over just a little bit. There we go. The circumference of the circle, C is equal to 2 pi r, or 2 pi times the radius. Now here's the thing, the reason this is called the unit circle is because the radius of this unit circle is 1 unit. So if I was to solve for the whole circumference for this unit circle, it would be C is equal to 2 times pi times 1, or 2 pi. So when we're taking a look at the radians all the way around the circle, we're going to start with 0 and then go all the way around to 2 pi. So we know that one full circle is going to be 2 pi. Now from here, we're going to just keep cutting the circle into chunks. So if we cut the circle in half and took a look over here, well, what is half of 2 pi? Oh, that is pi. So we can see that this half circle over here, this is pi, we'll add another pi, we get all the way around to 2 pi. So let's just focus on this first half of our circle, or this semicircle. So if we took this semicircle and we cut that in half, then we can say that right here, we're going to have pi over 2. So this is going to be pi over 2. So we can see that each quarter of the circle is going to be pi over 2, or half of pi. So we have pi over 2, pi. If we add another pi over 2 to that, we're going to come over here to 3 pi over 2. If we add another half to that, we come all the way around here to 2 pi. So we can kind of see our for the start of the 4 quadrants there. Now let's take this and start cutting this up even more. So if we're looking specifically right here at this first quadrant and we cut this one in half to right here, well, half of pi over 2 is going to be pi over 4. So if we took pi over 4 and we added another quarter of 2 pi over 4, well, 2 pi over 4, if we reduce that, becomes pi over 2. If we add another pi over 4, so 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, we get 3 pi over 4. If we keep on going, we're going to get, add pi over 4 to this, we get 4 pi over 4, also known as pi. We add another pi, so that's going to be 5 pi over 4. We add another pi over 4 to that, we get 6 pi over 4, or 3 pi over 2. We add another quarter to that, we're going to get 7 pi over 4 down here in that bottom quadrant. You add one more pi over 4, you get 8 pi over 4, which does reduce to 2 pi. So you're just kind of counting your way around the circle in your quarters. But let's see what else we have. So if we take this, if we take this quadrant right here, and we split this into thirds, oops, there we go. Well, if we take pi over 2 and we split that into thirds and divide that by 3, that's going to give us pi over 6. So if we add pi over 6, then we do 2 pi over 6 over here. Well, 2 pi over 6, if we reduce that, we're going to get pi over 3. You're always going to want to reduce as much as you can when we're going through. So from here, if we add, whoops, there we go. If we add another, so we're here 2 pi over 6. If we add another pi over 6, we get 3 pi over 6, also known as pi over 2. We add another pi over 6, and you can just kind of keep doing this all the way around. We get 4 pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, and 6 pi over 6. Now we can see that some of these are already reduced. So for instance, 6 pi over 6 becomes pi. Back up here, 4 pi over 6, if we were to reduce that, that would be 2 pi over 3. 5 pi over 6 can't be reduced, so we'll keep it that way. So you can keep going around with your pi over 6 and continue to reduce those. I will just point out that some people just look at the denominators and look at that as a pattern. So I'll kind of highlight that for us. Some people notice that here we have our 3s. Here we have our 4s. And here we have our 6s. So some people look at it like that as their pattern. I prefer to count all the way around because it's showing the different segments. So whichever works for you, I would say continue doing that. So I'm just going to continue counting around my circle with my pi over 6, and then I'll reduce. So this will be 7 pi over 6, 8 pi over 6, 9 pi over 6, 10 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6, and 12 pi over 6. So again, some of these are already reduced, some of these can't be reduced anymore. So for instance, 7 pi over 6, that's got to stay. 8 pi over 6, we can reduce that to 4 pi over 3. 9 pi over 6 is reduced to 3 halves. 10 pi over 6 can be reduced to 5 pi over 3. 11 pi over 6 stays as is. And then 12 pi over 6 can be reduced to 2 pi. So again, I just kind of count all the way around the circle. There are many patterns you may notice. Use those if you want. But this is what we have on radians of the unit circle. Feel free to watch the other videos if you would like to know the other parts of the unit circle.